evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Run Hub Racing here for round number 8 of the championship as we take in the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. We are here for the Mexican Grand Prix. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards, going to be taking you through the action as always here in P2 on a Sunday evening. And joining alongside me in the commentary box is the man, the myth, the legend that is Omi Combs. Omi, how you doing, my friend?
Lovely introduction as usual. Hello, Michael Edwards. Hello, everyone. Excited to be here. We've had a week off first of all, rest after what amazing action we saw at Monza. I think we needed a breather after that one. Now we're here at Mexico. More rain on the way. It's just going to be absolutely thrilling.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Monza, last time out in Monza, it absolutely gave us an incredible race. But of course, let's hope for more action again here tonight as we have a little look at the track. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, of course, the 4.3 kilometer circuit, 2.6 mile track in length, 17 corners, 7 to the left and 10 to the right. 36 laps await these guys and 3 DRS zones. Only 2 detection points as well. Detection point just before the final corner, or turn 16, the final braking point, I should say. And that will run you all the way down in towards turn number 1, and then you get a second bite of the cherry from turn number 3 down towards turn number 4. So if you can get the jump on a car early down that DRS straight, then you should be relatively safe from them coming back at you in the third DRS zone. The second detection point going through the S's and down in towards turn number 12. It is one of those tracks as well, Omi, that provides a lot of overtaking opportunities, as mentioned, on that incredibly long straight, but also some very good racing, of course, through that turn 4, turn 5, turn 6 complex, and of course in the final sector, the stadium sector, as I like to refer it as you go through turn 12, 13, 14, 15. And of course 16, we've seen plenty of side-by-side action there in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And around the circuit, if you do make the move on, as you mentioned, the first DRS straight down the start-finish straight, then you get it once again down towards turn 4. So if you make it early on the start-finish straight, then you can just pull away. And that's also crucial when if we do get a last lap battle, which there's a big chance we will, knowing how this season has been so far. So I think we could be seeing some DRS tactics come into play right at the end, where some drivers don't want to be leading at the end of the race, exactly for those reasons, because you really are going to lose plenty of time right at the end. So it's definitely going to be a very, very exciting and tense race, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, before we go any further, let's of course have a quick reminder of the calendar. Of course, we are coming in tonight, race number 8 of 12. We are at Mexico. We just had our mid-season break after, of course, round number 7 at Italy. Next week we do go racing at the Jeddah circuit, of course, in Saudi Arabia. Then, of course, we've got the sprint race in Baku to look forward to. Canada for round number 11, and then, of course, the sprint race in Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina circuit to close out this season, which is going to be fantastic races to look forward to. But tonight we are in Mexico, and let's have a quick look at the standings. As you see, Axlock is still leading the championship, but he is now tied on points with Red Matt.
Yep, absolutely is as well, tied on points with the Red Matt. So it's going to be absolutely phenomenal to see how they get on. Rounds are running out thick and fast, week in, week out. The races are going very, very quickly. So we are progressing quickly. So no one's able to take a breather in this season, and it will be in a click that will be right at the end in the final race.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go through the championship order. So, of course, Axlock leads the way on 116, tied with Red Matt, who is in second place, also on 116. And we've got a bit of a points gap back to Cam K-Mum in third place on 85 points. And, of course, we've got Lukey in fourth place on 81 points. 70 points for Specialists up in P5 right now, with Miami in sixth on 68 points. 67 points for Ramif in 7th place, and of course we've got Watesy on 65, so a very close battle from 5th down to 8th in that regard. Only 5 points separating those several drivers right there. 57 points for the man in P9, and that is Umbrella. And then, of course, running at the top 10 we do have Lawrence on 48 points. Outside of the top 10, Justin on 41, and in 12th place we have Jordan on 36, 30 points for the man in 13, and lucky for some, it is Cohen in 13th place on 30 points. And of course, we got 26 points for Donut and Ali B in 14th and 15th, respectively. Cam Rules in 16th place on 15 points, and then of course we got 11 points for Tristan in 17th. Waits on 10 points in 18th, same with Funky in 19th as well, also on 10 points. And then of course we have Thomas on -2 points in 20th place. And what that has done in terms of the constructors standings, as we slowly load over to the constructor standings, and there we go. It is the Haas F1 team that have a commanding lead in the teams championships. Of course, they are on 201 points. They've broken the 200-point barrier. And then, of course, there's a long gap back to Red Bull and Ferrari, who are tied on points in second and third place on 146. 124 points for the McLaren F1 team in fourth place. And of course, we've got Alpine F1 team in fifth on 85 points. 77 points on the Mercedes team in sixth place. Seventh goes the way of the Alfa Romeos in on 74 points in seventh place. Eighth place for the Alfa Tauris on 66 points. And then, of course, we got Williams racing in ninth on 36, and then of course we got the Aston Martins bringing up the rear at the back on 21 points. So that's how the standings are looking here tonight. I mean, it is going to be an incredible bit of action, as we should be having, I believe, 15 drivers in tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so we've got a few less drivers in here today, so similar to Monza. But before you start turning away, do you remember what happened back to Monza? We had an absolute thrilling race. We had 3 wide for the lead, 3 wide for fourth. We had, of course, the late, wet, extraordinary finish that we had there, where drivers are sliding all over the road, and it was really, really action-packed. So last week, in my opinion, was one of my favorite races of the season. So definitely stick around, and I think we have plenty of action coming our way very, very shortly. And we still actually do have rain on its way as well, but qualifying's underway, and I think it's going to be definitely a very, very exciting one. And we of course had a few weather bugs and had a lobby restart due to it, but we won't be doing that, as it seems like it's now just a bug in the game. So we can't do anything about that now, but we'll try our best. But we won't be having a lobby restart for that issue today.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is unfortunate. But before we head out to the action out on the track, let's take a moment and thank our sponsors and our partners here at One Hub Racing. Of course, to our sponsors at Next Level Racing, and of course to Aztec, as well as Pure Sim Gear, and of course to our partners at Vespa Twin, and of course Elite Racing Team, ERT there as well, and of course Sim Grid, who of course provided us with the fantastic graphics, of which you just saw the championship standings on, as we have just got underway in qualifying. But before we head out to the action on track, of course we must catch up with the drivers press conference, and the man that we was able to get a word with for the drivers press conference was of course Red Matt. So question we put to him: welcome in, Red Matt. You're on quite a run at the moment since the race you missed in round 4. How confident are you of keeping this run of results going, and are you confident you're going to be lifting the championship trophy at the end of the season? Red Matt responds saying, I did not expect to be in this sort of run after missing a race. The only downside is I have now is I have to get the results all the time, as I know I'm missing another race weekend, and unfortunately the break weeks fall at a bad time. If the break week was a week later, then I'd be okay. Now I have to be on it every race weekend, thus increasing the pressure on myself in terms of the title. It is in Axelot's hands, really. I'm doing what I can. So Red Matt obviously saying that he does have another race that he will have to miss, and that essentially, I mean, as he said, he's putting it in Axelot's hands, and you know, trying to put as much pressure on his championship rival as humanly possible here.
Yeah, absolutely as well. So that's going to be really, really exciting to see how they get on, and definitely it's going to be full push till the end. And of course it is back to back with a few break weeks, so definitely is going to be a full push for these drivers, and sometimes it can hurt them with a race being on a certain week, or a break week just being a little bit too late for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in the rivalries as well, of course, it was Justin and Donut, which we were trying to get words from. We only managed to get word from Justin in this, but the question we put to the pair of them was, I think it's fair to say you guys have had in different starts to your season. Are you confident of strong finishes and pushing potentially in the top 10 in the championship? Of course, we only had a response from Justin with regards to this. Justin responds saying, not really sure, I'm far from consistent as you could probably tell, but I'll do my best for top 10. So, I mean, Justin's still hopeful, which is good that he can get a top 10 finish. But without further ado, I think no better way to get us going right now, but as lap times are starting to come in, but to get out on track. So we're going to hop now out on track as we see Axlock now come into the line, and it's provisional pole with a 16.6.
Yep, absolutely as well. So it's Axlock right now, who is at the front of the field. Then it's Justin in second, Berra in third, but everyone pushing on right now at the moment. It's Redmap, who is now P1 in this order. So all of the drivers just getting their first laps on the board then, and then we'll be getting, and then the laps will be getting faster and faster. And of course, we still have many more drivers to push, but that's your top 4 right now at the moment. And Berra currently right now the slowest driver of the 4 right now that have set a lap time. You have Funky, who's making his way through them. The final corner on this circuit, and is going to hug the inside, come over the line. He'll be in 6th, Quinn in 5th. So the lap times are just starting to come on as we get this session properly underway.
Yeah, absolutely. As Lawrence across the line going P7, Funky down to 6th, Quinn going across the line up into P5. We got Lukey on a lap right now coming down in towards turn number 1. So we're still on board with Lukey. Lukey, as we know, very quick driver and has had to do many recovery races so far this season.
Yeah, definitely. Lukey, a very, very quick driver, but has had to be recovering positions, having of course been at the back due to either a grid penalty or let's say he's been spun around, which has happened quite a bit. He's been involved in a bit of contact, but he's a driver with plenty of pace. So it's been a bit unfortunate for him that he's had to be on those recovery drives right at the end as well, and not being able to finish the races where he would have wanted, because then he's of course having to make his way through the field and not able to be where he wants to be, which is at the front of the field battling with the leaders as they're already a bit more up the road when Lukey's had to do a bit of recovery drive. So definitely he's been hurt by a few of those recovery drives, but he'll be hoping that the next part of this season he won't be having to do any of those recovery drives, and he'll be battling near the front.
Well, that's a perfect way to get his qualifying underway. Provisional pole position for Lukey right there. Very impressive in the first and middle sector. Purple for him right there. Didn't quite get the purple final sector. That, of course, relies to this man in P6. Of course, Ramif doing a 19.4 in the final sector, so a 10th quicker than Lukey there. But Lukey looking very strong early on in qualifying.
Yep, he absolutely is looking very, very strong right now in qualifying is Lukey, and that's always great for a driver, of course. Then that gives him a faster lap to try to go even faster than, as well as he tries to find all sorts of improvements. So Lukey definitely has got himself a good first lap, and he'll continue to try push from that lap and go even faster in the next few runs. So great lap time by him, and he is well clear right now of Redmap compared to the gaps that we have seen so far this season. So great stuff by Lukey.
Yep, I'm currently on board with Cam K Mum coming through the final couple of corners now. Turn 16 in towards turn number 17. Cam K yet to get a lap time on the board, but this will be the first one for Cam K, and it's P10 for the Haas.
Yeah, so Cam K Mum going into P10 right now. The only driver who has not set a lap time is Waze, who right now is still in the pit lane. You have Axelot, who's back on an out lap, immediately getting ready after setting one lap to go on the push once again then, and about to go on the attack around this configuration of circuit. Justin about to also make his way through, and he's on an out lap, and so is Waze as well. Some more drivers are starting to come out for their second run in this qualifying session to see where it places them, and Axelot will be hoping to get near Lukey's time.
Yeah, and of course we're going to take you on a full lap here with the championship leader in Axlock, as Looks to get himself set up and ready to go on a flyer. Needs to find around 3.5 attempts to take the provisional pole away from Lukey. But here we go now. Full throttle to the floor as we begin the lap. Opening up DRS on this very long run down in towards turn number 1, where ideally you don't really want to be starting from pole position here because it's such a long run that you're going to lose it. But coming down, breaking in towards turn number 1, third gear, the gear choice here for Axlock. As we go through turn number 2 and through turn number 3, short shifting up into fourth gear, looking for the best traction possible on the exit. DRS wide open now as we run down in towards turn number 4. Looking at the break-in, around the 100-meter board down into third gear for Axlock. And now through turn number 5 we go. Getting onto the exit curve there, using all the track possible as we go through turn number 6, the double right-hander. Where getting yourself out of that corner can really propel you down into these fantastic S sections. We go through 7, 8, 9, 10, and through 11 as DRS is wide open again as we head down to the break-in for turn number 12. So almost 3 attempts up for Axlock so far, coming through turn number 12 into the break-in for turn number 13 at the hairpin. A quick little right-hander through 14 and a little kick of 15 into the break-in for 16, third gear for Axlock now coming through turn 17. What will this be for the Red Bull? It's going to be provisional pole.
Yeah, absolutely great stuff. I mentioned Axelock would have wanted to find that lap time to go to the front of the field, and he's got ahead of Lukey almost into the 1 minute 15. Lukey's going to have his chance to reply to that. Redman is beginning his lap as he tries to get near Axelock as well. You're going to have, just in his backed out of it, you have Waze, who's also pushing on then right now as he tries to get his first lap time on the board. He's the only driver right now in this field who hasn't got a lap time on the board, and he wants to change that as he makes his way through the S section.
Absolutely, I'm currently on board with Redmat. 2 attempts up in the first sector, so Redmat absolutely flying right now. Needs to find a bit more time if he wants to challenge the front row right now, which is currently being contained by Axlock and Lukey, as Lukey is also just starting his flying lap as well, so we'll make sure to go on board with Lukey in just a moment's time. And in terms of the lap times, I mean, Axlock right now 16.0. Do we think we're going to see anyone into the 15s? And if so, what do you reckon the pole position time will be?
I think I'm going to go for a 15.8. I think we are going to get someone in the 15s, and I think it's going to be a 15.8 as well. So let's see what Redmat is going to be able to do then. Has he been able to find some time? He's had a little bit of a slide as he made his way onto the power. Then over the line goes Redmat. Improvement of time, but not position. Still third position for the Haas man right now, as Lawrence also is still pushing on. Quinn is making his way through then to the end of his flying lap, up by almost 0.3 of a second. Won't do him too much though, because he'll come over the line. He'll improve by over 2.5 tenths, but still that is 9th position for him as well. So he just was able to get a lap with a few less errors in there, and he's been able to get himself on, closer to 7th and 8th right now of Justin and Berra. But great lap time by Axelock, and Lukey is also going to try and respond very, very shortly and see if he's going to be able to find a lap time that can take back provisional pole away.
Yeah, Lukey was over a 10th down in the first sector, so I think he's backed out that lap immediately, knowing it's not going to be enough for him. So I think he's gearing up to go again. I think Ramif also potentially has backed out of his lap here as well. Yes, he has. So we're seeing a lot of drivers back off from the runs if they make a small mistake, which of course in a division like this, every small mistake really does matter.
It really, really does. When it's all so close between the drivers, every single little mistake could matter. Lukey's up by 0.03 of a second. Let's see if he's going to be able to improve that in the second and third sector, however.
Yeah, Lukey not using as much of the runoff there as I've seen other drivers do in the past. So might have just cost him just a little bit of time. But into the S's now we go, and let's see if Lukey is going to be able to find the time in this middle sector. You have to be so smooth through those S's to really gain the time. And Lukey is down. Did a little bit of a weave, so not happy right there. Is Lukey, or maybe he was just weaving to us, knowing that we're watching him on stream right now. If he is weaving to us, hello Lukey.
Hello. Yeah.
And he weaved again.
There we go. Maybe he is. Oh, he's going into the mid lane. Lovely stuff there by Luki. His teammate currently sitting in P4. And there is Waze making his way back through as well, finding a lap time that was good enough for P8. So it's a trip back to the pit lane for all of the drivers right now, because we have only got 5 more minutes and they've got to get back in and get their new set of tyres on and get ready for their final push lap that will decide the grid. But as you mentioned, you don't really want to be on pole around this circuit, even second position from time to time, because it's third that will really get the toe down towards someone. It's such a long run down there, down towards that first corner, so it always gets close, and most of the time we get to see 3 wide for the lead there.
I mean, on occasions you get 4 wide down towards turn number 1, as we're on board right now with Waitsy coming through turns number 1 and 2. Of course, with both Ferraris here tonight, so I remember Waitsy had to miss Monza, if I remember correctly, and that definitely hurt him a little bit in the constructors. Obviously, with Luki out and do another recovery drive. But yeah, I mean, Ferrari, in terms of a team, you'd expect them to be able to get some big points and propel themselves further in the team's championship. But right now, due to Luki's just horrible luck of having to do recovery drive after recovery drive, and Waitsy obviously having missed last race and been a little bit inconsistent this season, it's just not gone Ferrari's way.
Yep, it definitely hasn't as well. So it hasn't gone Ferrari's way so far, even though it did look like that they were looking very, very quick throughout as well. At the beginning of the season, we thought they were going to be able to do well. They have been doing well, but unfortunately it's been a lot of moments that have cost them.
Yeah, as we were just on board, Waitsy losing the back end there as he came for the final corner. We got 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the session as we got Waste, the first car out on track. Currently in P8 is the Welshman, and in the Williams as well. This is going to be interesting to see if Waste can find some time here. He needs to get into the 16s and be comfortable in the 16s, I think, to really solidify his position. But that back end stepping out right there through turn 3, not going to fill him with confidence early on. As I don't know where my co-commentator has gone, so it is all good. We are here with Waze, of course. Yeah, you good?
Yeah, you cut off for me there. There we go. Back to normal now.
I mean, I was keeping an eye on the stream and everything, making sure that it wasn't my end and that went down. I haven't dropped any frames, so I think that might be an issue on your end. For right now, we'll keep an eye on that though. And hope that we don't get plagued with any Discord issues here tonight. But Waste needs, in my opinion, Waste needs to find a good free temperature, in my opinion, to get himself solidified in the top 10.
Yep, absolutely. Waste definitely does as well. Need a good lap time to secure his position right now in the top 10 as he'll make his way out of the last corner to begin a lap.
Yep, absolutely down in towards turn number 1. Will go Waste, a very long run in towards turn number 1, and a little bit of traffic up ahead. You want to hope that they get out of the way ASAP as we go through turn number 1 now with Waste. Now through turn number 2 with the Welshman. You saw a little bit of a snap, taking a little bit too much inside curve through 2, and that means that he's already backed out of his lap. He knows the lap is gone as we got Lawrence just starting the lap in behind as well.
Yep, so Lawrence beginning a lap then as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he's going to be able to get on. Currently sitting in P5 right now. Can he challenge for the top 4? He's sure he can probably try get ahead of Ratesy on this one. Whether Ratesy can take it back, that's going to be another story. But for now, you'll provisionally be hoping to at least move up 1 position to P4.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm not going to lie, Lawrence is actually going on a cooldown lap, so he's doing an out lap, an installation lap, and then going for a flyer, so trying to drain all the fuel possible in the car before getting himself going at the end. We do have Quinn on a lap, and of course we have Red Matt on a lap as well. Both of them are on flying laps. We'll go on board with Quinn. Quinn in 11th right now. 800s up on his lap time. We'll keep an eye on Red Matt's time. Red Matt has improved in the first sector, and we'll see if Red Matt's going to find any more time, but there's Haas going slow in the final sector. That's of course going to be Cam K for the final sector, as we have Quinn now coming through the S's, looking to get a fantastic run in towards the final sector. half a tenth up for Quinn. Marginal improvement. Needs to find more here in the final sector if he wants to break into the top 10.
Yeah, definitely as well right now. Let's see then what Quinn is going to be able to do then. He'll take the shortest route to the line, hugging the inside curb. Over the line he goes. He finds the improvement to P7.
Yeah, and Redmat has backed out of his lap. So Redmat not on a flyer. We have Ramif right now on a flyer in behind. DRS wide open for the McLaren as he's running down to the middle sector split. 10th and a half up for Ramif as we see Berra there going on the improving on his lap time up into P4. So a good lap time there from Brenner, a driver that's had mixed performances this season. Same with his teammate Ramif. Of course, Ramif looked very strong at the start of the season. It's just gone wrong for him in the middle part, but up there into P4 displaces his teammate. And now checker flag is out as we got Justin to the line. Justin will go up the order. Let's see if Justin's going to find any improvements here. 16.3, P3 for Justin. Lukey not improving. What about Axlock? Axlock now coming through the final corner. The Red Bull, will he find any more time? It's a 15.9 for Axlock. And I think that might be the session over and done with. In fact, hang on, Waitsy, 10th and a half up. Where will this put Waitsy now? Waitsy up to P7 in the end. As the last man to cross the line is Camke, and Camke's into the pits.
Yep, so Camke's into the pit lane. So it is Axelock who takes it, the only man in the 1 minute 15th as well. So great stuff by Axelock. He's beaten Lukey, who will join him on the front row, but it will be Justin who will be in the hot seat down towards turn number 1 as he'll try make it 3 wide and take the lead. And maybe, who knows, Redmat could be getting involved as well.
Alright, just want to put this out there right now. Of course, Redmat at the quickest first sector, Lukey with the quickest middle sector, and then of course Axelock with the quickest final sector. So those 3 drivers all separate in sector times in the personal best sector times. Of course, a 28.5 for Redmat in the first sector, a 28.1 for Lukey in the middle sector, and a 19.2 for Axelock in the final sector. But it is Axelock who was able to string together the best lap time possible to put himself on pole position. But let's run you through the order here for Mexico. It is Axelock on pole position, joined on the front row by Lukey there in P2. Justin in P3 with Redmat in P4. With Waits in P5, Ramif in P6. Waitsy in P7 with Brother in P8. Lawrence in P9 and Funky rounding out the top 10. And outside the top 10 we have Quinn in 11th and Cam K-Mum starting from the back of the field. And that's got to be a disappointing qualifying for Cam K-Mum there.
Yep, absolutely going to be a disappointing one for him. Lukey not too happy as well with that qualifying. Justin definitely very, very happy though with starting in 3rd position, and he knows that there's a chance to take the lead down towards turn 1 as well. So it's going to be a frantic opening lap, as it always is in Mexico City, and surely we're going to be in for an absolutely fantastic race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we do have a couple of pre-race interviews as well, which were done by some of the drivers leading into tonight. Of course, we asked the questions. Welcome back, everyone. Did you enjoy the break week? Of course, we got a response from Funky here saying, well, it's been more than 1 week for me, but he did enjoy it. As the heavens have opened. So the heavens have opened. Axelock also responded saying, yes, it was good to get a break. And of course, Cam K responded in typical Cam K fashion, I guess.
Absolutely. As well, we were also able to speak to Axelock, who says yes, was good to get a break, because of course these drivers definitely do pressure on, definitely do push on throughout week in, week out on a Sunday evening. So definitely good to get a break for once for him.
Absolutely. Of course, the question, more questions we put towards the drivers is another one. We arrive in Mexico, a track that presents a trick and challenge with long straights, tight corners, and fast corners too. Have you spent time trying to find a setup to suit all of these? And of course, I will let you go do the Axelock response for this one, and of course, Cam K's as well. Yeah,
Axelock saying yeah, but he's not going to share us the details. Of course, he's not going to tell us as well. And of course, Cam Kimum replying with yes. So a simple answer, yes.
And then of course, Funky also responded saying, not yet, I'm bad at this track, so I don't think it'll be use to me anyway. It's always use, Funky, so even if it's not your favorite track, it's always best to get a setup and get comfortable, right? Question 3 that we put to the drivers: with having the long main straight, will you be looking to potentially work with your teammate in quality to try and get that extra 10th or so? Funky responds saying depends on the situation. And what does Axlock say?
Yep. Axelock said possibly, but we are about to get underway.
Yeah, absolutely. As we go to those 5 red lights in a absolutely drenched Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, the full wet compound tires are out to play as we are underway, and Lukey immediately up into the race lead. Look at Red Matt trying to get through. Axlock here trying to get a bit of substitution to come back at Lukey down towards turn number 1. They have to funnel through. Cool, calm, collected. 3 wide in the background. There's a Mercedes. There's a Williams, and I believe there was a McLaren of Ramif involved in there as well. As my God, these drivers are absolutely skating through these corners right now. It's absolutely throwing it down out there.
Lukey able to turn second on the grid to the lead. He just got better traction off the line, so that's exactly what the Ferrari driver wanted. Axlock in second. They both went side by side. Then it was 3 wide behind, and it is Lawrence has moved up 4 places. Great start from him. Quinn as well moving up 4 places. He's side by side with Justin, and they're making a bit of contact. Justin dropping down, and he wanted to turn third on the grid to the lead. Instead, it's third down to 6th for him.
Yeah, absolutely. As Ramif momentarily side by side with Quinn for P7. Waitsy there down in P9. Cam K still at the back of the field. And honestly, what a start from this man, Lukey. And fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong for the Ferrari, because he deserves one race weekend where something doesn't go wrong. As Wace has gone around. Wace is around.
Wace, it's gone all wrong for him though. But he's still going to be on the back, so that's not what the Williams driver wanted at all. But at least he's still going to be on the back, and he'll be able to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. As Lukey said, see, fast lap of the race, of course, to be expected. The top 3 have managed to get away from the field quite early on, so it looks like in terms of the race win, as it currently stands, it's going to be a bit of a 3-horse race between Lukey, Axlock and Red Matt. We got a 2-second gap from Red Matt back to Lawrence. Then the big pressure from Justin. Justin trying to have a little peek down the inside in towards turn number 1. That's to tuck in behind though, and small little bit of contact made between the Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo, as the traction that Justin got in the first phase was brilliant, but just had a bit of a snap in the second phase as he got close to the back of Lawrence. But here we go now. Around the outside will go Justin, and doesn't want to commit to the outside line. So Justin happy to settle for P5 for now, but a tight line through turn number 5 gives him the inside line for turn number 6. And Justin, more contact between the pair of them. Justin though up in the P4.
So Justin moving up into P4 and making up for a bit of lost ground off that start as well. Still Lawrence and Quinn as well in there, and great start by Quinn, as we mentioned, up 5 positions, and he is going to try and attack Lawrence as well. It's all out of shape and just about holding on to the car, and here comes Ramit to now try to get past Quinn.
Yeah, Ramif down the inside in towards turn number 12. Should have the traction on the track to get this done, but Quinn doing very well to hold it on the inside line, and Ramif will have to sit in behind and try again down the start-finish straight in just a moment's time.
Yep, he'll get another opportunity then. Will Ramit with better traction, he'll already be looking to the inside, and then he'll use a bit of ERS. He will try and draw alongside, and he'll have to tuck back into the slipstream. He did not have the overspeed. Now this one is going to be contended down to the first braking zone of the circuit as we go on to lap number 3, which would be the lap where we get DRS, but no DRS due to the conditions, and no overtaking for Ramit down to turn 1.
Yep, absolutely. Look like Quinn has a pretty good setup for a straight line around this circuit, so that's going to bode well for Quinn being able to defend down the start-finish straight. And obviously in the wet conditions, everyone's going to be tiptoeing around the corner, so Quinn actually stands a good chance of holding on to this position here.
Yep, absolutely as well. So definitely Quinn doing pretty well, and he's being able to hold on to this position. So Ramit is going to have to try maybe get the move done at some point through the corners where he sees Quinn struggling a tiny bit. Lawrence trying to come back up against Justin as well, and Lawrence once again all out of shape through there. The top 3 all inside 1 second of each other, all still pushing on, but Lukey, great stuff by the Ferrari man. Everything seems like it's going well for him, but Ramit's still now looking for it on Quinn.
Yeah, Ramif is getting such a good run for those S's compared to Quinn. I'm definitely thinking more downforce on the McLaren compared to the Red Bull. But down the start finish straight, down in towards turn number 4, you're seeing Quinn just have enough to hold off the McLaren for right now. But let's see if Quinn's going to be able to keep his car in a straight line. And that time he had a bit of a snap, and that's going to allow Ramev to go side by side. And let's see the overspeed right now from Quinn, as Quinn's going to draw back alongside the McLaren, retake that position. And what a rocket ship that Quinn has right there.
Use all the ERS you want. There's nothing you can do. Ramit's still trying to fight back. This time it's going to go down to the braking zone. Quinn's going to keep his foot in. Both lines will converge into one, and Quinn will hold a position. And yeah, it is being hard right now for Ramage to overtake, because when he tries to overtake, Quinn has the opportunity to come charging back down the straight with the speed he has. Definitely, it kind of seems like a real life rocket ship, doesn't it, the Red Bull?
Honestly, I'm getting Mana vibes right now. Mana, if you remember the Manas back in the day, quick in a straight line, but horrible in the corners. For those who don't remember F1 2016. But right now, obviously, the two at the front I managed to break away from Red Mat. Red Mat falling just a bit behind now. 1.3 seconds the gap between Red Mat and Axlock. Axlock slowly closing in on Lukey here for the race lead.
Yep, Axel's starting to slowly close in.
That's Justin around.
Oh, huge disappointment for Justin, who spun around and lost the car. It was looking good for him, but that moment is really going to cost him. He's going to head to the back of the field, and he's going to have a lot of work to do to try and make some overtakes. Like Ramit's attempting, you got to make unconventional overtakes when you've got a car that is very fast in a straight line ahead of you. He did make an unconventional overtake, and he finds himself...
So I believe my co-commentator's Discord has lagged out again. So I believe what we were saying, unconventional overtakes here. Ramev looking to get that position done. At the front though, Lukey and Axlock battling out side by side. That's just perfect for Red Mat to be able to get himself back into this fight. And you see how much time the Red Mat has gained on these two from that little side by side exchange through 1s, 2 and 3. But Lukey does remain out in the race lead for the time being. Lap number 5 of 36. And Omi, is Discord now working for you?
Hello?
Yep, brilliant, I can hear you fine.
Lovely stuff. Okay, right, that's not really helpful then. Discord having a bit of a nightmare, but the racing is still continuing. But yeah, Redman now has dropped a tiny bit off this battle for the lead, and Axlock was having a look into turn number 1, and we're about to have some exciting scraps between these two guys right now, Lukey and Axlock. But of course, overtaking is a bit more harder due to no DRS for these drivers, and Ramit is now going to try get past Lawrence after being able to clear Quinn, and here he comes now.
Yep, Ramev going to get the move done in towards turn number 12. Good move there from Ramev. And Lawrence now going to try and get the better traction, see if he can try and fight around the outside in towards the hairpin at 13, and not going to be able to do it. So now Ramev up into P4, 5.2 seconds off the back of Red Mat. So the top 3 have completely gone in this race.
They absolutely have as well. They've completely disappeared in this one, and let the drivers behind all scrap it out for every single position, like Waitsy and Vera are doing right now, and Waitsy is moving ahead.
Yeah, Waitsy and Vera side by side there momentarily, and Waitsy able to get ahead, and they were all closing in on Quinn as well. So this could be tasty as Lawrence and Ramev trading positions, as I believe Ramev just went so deep in towards turn number 1. Position was given up. And my God, now we have a big old scrap for 4th place right here.
Big old scrap indeed. And there we go with Waitsy trying to come through all the way around the outside. He's surely not going to make the corner. He's just about done it, but he's not done it ahead of Quinn, and maybe not even ahead of Bera.
Yeah, Bera there seizing an opportunity to try to go around the outside. Not going to work out there through turn number 5, and we'll have to settle in behind Waitsy once again. But the McLaren is looking to try and make moves in this race. And interesting, Justin in the pits right now, set of intermediates.
Okay, interesting stuff then. We know it's going to be getting drier and drier as well. The rain will lighten up, and then we'll get to a point where there won't be any rain at all. So Justin moving on to the intermediate compound of tyres. So that's going to be really exciting to see, and we'll compare the gaps and see if he's going. So he's going for a gamble. He's had a spin, having started in 3rd position in the race, is not gone his way. So he's going to try and gamble and hope it pays off.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're on board with Ramif now, trying to re-overtake Lawrence for P4 after that mistake. As you see, Quinn diving into the pits. Same with Kamke, as Axlock has taken the race lead ahead of Lukey. In fact, they're battling side by side. Let's go on board with this at the front. I think Lukey is just settling down. I think he doesn't want to fight that too much. He knows how much his races have been ruined by just a small bit of contact here and there. And both intermediates on for Kamke and Quinn in this race now.
Ramit and Lawrence were both battling, and it's the McLaren who manages to get his way past the Sabre there. And here we go with Berra, still now trying to fight his way through on Waitsy, and he's going to be late on the brakes and then some, and he manages to get it slowed down, but Waitsy comes back and turns the outside to the inside. Great stuff by Waitsy to hold the position.
Oh, Berra had a little peek in towards turn number 6, but elected to not go for it. Smart there from Berra, as we are on board with Lukey now. Closing in on the back of Axlock through this middle sector, and a big little slide right there for Lukey. Complete contradiction of what I just said there. Big little slide, but yeah, Lukey having a bit of a moment there on the exit of the S's, and we'll have to settle back down. But what this battling has done is brought Red Matt straight back into it.
Yep, absolutely. Has allowed Red Matt to join the party and join the battle as well, so that's going to be really interesting to see how those three get on. Well, they're all going to be diving it into the pit lane. Are those two drivers of Axlock, Lukey and Red Matt to surely dive it into the pit lane for the intermediate compound of tyres. Berra though continuing on.
Oh, Axlock has had no, never mind, that's lag. I was going to say Axlock has been held there, but yeah, the game lied to me. But Axlock will come back out in the net race lead, Lukey in net P2, and of course Red Matt in the net P3. Berra has stayed out there on the wet tyres, and I'm not sure whether that's a wise choice. Let's have a look in the corners by here and see if the Inters are gaining on the full wet compound. Because if they're not, this could be an absolute masterstroke from Berra. But it looks like the Inters are gaining.
Yep, absolutely does seem to be the case as well right now, that the intermediates are gaining, but Berra deciding to stay out there, electing to stay out, also not wanting to maybe double stack with his teammates, so thinking about possibly doing an extra lap out there, as Quinn is attacking Ramit and trying to force Ramit off the racing line and trying to get some cutbacks on his rival to get to the ideal racing line and trying to find a way through. Right now is Quinn, but he'll have an opportunity when we go on to the start-finish straight.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, with the pit stop phases, what we've seen, Quinn getting himself back up in the P6. Essentially P5 in this race. Ramif now with a 3-second time penalty, not ideal for him. Kamke getting a nice undercut on both Waitsy and I think Kamke was already ahead of Funky, and both of them will be ahead of Brenner when Brenner comes into the pits right now. But yeah, the pit stop phases have shuffled the order slightly in this midfield.
Yep, they've all just shuffled it slightly as well, as now Berra definitely decides now to dive it into the pit lane as well, and we're making our way down the straight once again with Lukey gaining in the slipstream, but of course he's going to decide to sit behind, as you mentioned, not wanting to risk anything at this stage of the race, especially knowing what's happened in the previous few races. He wants everything to go calm today, and he really wants to be fighting for that victory when we go on to the 36th and final tour as well. We still are going to have to deal with another pit stop of moving to the dries, as the rain is expected to clear up. We don't know when that will be though, or even will it happen, or will it be right at the end. Who knows? Anything is possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, going back to the pre-race questions as well, one question that we did put out to the drivers: will you consider doing a bit of wet practice with the possibility of rain being quite high? And I mean, I'll let you say what Axlock is saying, because I can see that Axlock has definitely done what he has said.
He said, I think it's a must. So it seems like he did do it as it was a must, and it's working out for him.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, Kamke also saying always does a bit of web practice. And of course, Funky turned around and said no. Just no.
Simple answer there.
as Axlock with the new fastest lap of the race. And the final question we put to the drivers, with 5 rounds to go, what is going to be your target, your points target? Funky saying as many as possible. Cam K saving all of the points. So Cam K wants all the points and not anything less.
Yep, and Axelock saying to score more than our rivals for the title in the remaining races, and he said we'll see how that goes though.
Yeah, absolutely. Lap 10 of 36. Axelock currently leads the way ahead of Lukey in P2. Right now we have Red Matt in P3, about a second off the back of Lukey. Rameth right there in P4, 2 seconds ahead of Quinn, who's under a bit of pressure right now for that P5 position from Lawrence in behind. And about another second back to Kamke, who's holding off Waitsy right now in that battle for P7 and P8. Brenner about a second back off of that battle in P9. And then, of course, we got Funky there in a bit of a lonesome P10. As is Waste in a lonesome P11, and of course Justin with a very lonesome P12 at the back of the field. So these guys towards the back, I mean, it's a lonely race for them right now, but it might be beneficial for them because when you're driving on your own, you can somewhat focus a bit more on just making sure you're getting through these corners as nice and smooth as possible and not picking up those warnings that lead to time penalties in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. As well then, so you don't want to be picking up time penalties, especially when there is some finishes, and if there was to be a late safety car, they'd all finish together, so late penalties. So penalties can really hurt you later on in the race as well. And here we go. This is the battle for the lead now.
Yep, Loki there pulling out the position, trying to go around the outside for turn number 1. They'll turn to the inside for turn number 2. And it looks like Axlock has just about got enough there. But Loki looking for the better exit out of turn number 3. And will get the better exit. Gets the traction on the ERS, a little dab of it. And it looks like Axlock using a bit to try and stay ahead. And Lukey right now in a commanding position ERS-wise, compared to Axlock, I mean, he has around about 3 times the amount.
Yep, absolutely. Lukey right now looking for a way through. He was in the slipstream, and that's how powerful the slipstream is down towards turn 1, and was able to have a little look down the outside. Axelock, though, able to defend it. But as you mentioned, Axelock running out of ERS, Lukey really applying the pressure, so he seems to be in a good position right now in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the possibility of it changing from inters all the way to the dries towards the end of this race, it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be on inters until the dry period, or whether they're going to have to make another pit stop under another set of intermediates. That's going to be the call now.
That's going to be the call indeed as well. So will definitely be interesting to see now how they all handle that one. We're on lap number 11 out of 36 in this race, and we're making our way onto the start finish straight with Axelock a bit more further ahead, but not for too long, because look at Axelock, he was absolutely weaving down that straight, and Lukey has been gaining. Go down to turn number 1, of course, with more ERS, he's not even using it, but he's still being able to gain on the straight, and it seems like we might get a move between Quinn and Lawrence. Yeah,
as the Lawrence say, looking to get through on Quinn, as Waitsy's getting through on Kamke as well in behind. So 2 position changes there. Lawrence up in the P5, Waitsy up in the P7. And I don't think Kamke will be upset by that whatsoever, knowing that Waitsy has a time penalty to his name already in this race. So I think Kamke's going to be quite happy with this so far.
Yeah, definitely will be as well. Will Kamke Mum right now has to have a come.
As I believe Discord has disconnected my co-commentator's voice once again.
So far?
Yeah, you cut out again, my friend. You cut out again.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, no worries. Okay.
Yeah, Lukey trying to get onto the back of Axlock. Axlock just looks incredibly well suited to this final sector, and that is saving Axlock right now, because it's giving him the gap that he needs to hold off Lukey down the start finish straight.
Yep, definitely has as well. As they make their way onto the start finish straight, he's definitely got a bit of a gap, and Lukey using a bit of ERS to now try and get close as we make our way down towards turn number 1. Just wants to stay in close distance to the back of the red. Well, not necessarily wanting to make the move, but wanting to stay close. A driver who doesn't want to make the move though is Lukey's teammate. He's on the back of Quinn right now. It's Waitsy trying to get past Quinn down towards turn 1.
Yeah, and he's going to have the outside line in towards turn number 1, as we're going to see if Quinn's going to fight this. Quinn electing to just sit in behind. So I think Quinn probably thinking, okay, I'm going to not fight some of the quicker drivers, just try and get Toad along a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Is going to be the case as well then. And they're still all making their way through as well. And Lawrence, Quinn and Cam Kimum all up 4 positions off their starting place. So they've of course made some progress in this race. The top 2 staying how they were. Luki able to take the lead on the opening lap in the opening meters, but then has lost out and is now just trying to stay inside the 1 second of Axelot.
Yeah, Axelot realising if he can break that 1 second away from Luki, then it's all going to come down to the pit stop strategy and when is the right time to pit, whether it be for another set of inders or whether it be for the dry compounds later in this race remains to be seen. Lap 13 about to begin lap number 14. Axelot now has that 1 second gap that he needs. As Axelot here with the fastest lap of the race. Redmat now trying to get onto the back of Luki. Luki closing back within a second on Axelot, obviously with more ERS to play with. The ERS management from Luki has been fantastic here. Quinn has dropped down to 9th place, been overtaken by both Camke and Brera as they move up the order. And we're starting to get this race somewhat equalised now, I think, Omi. As I think again my co-commentator's Discord is disconnecting somewhat, so we will do our best to try and bring you the action until he is back solo a dolo. So right now Luki trying his best to stay within that 1 second, needs to find a few more attempts in this middle sector just to make sure he is able to stick onto the back of that Red Bull. But you're seeing in the final sector just how good Axelot has been through there. It's going to be very difficult to keep up with Axelot in that final sector. So let's see if Luki has kind of sussed out what Axelot is doing and trying to mimic that to not lose any time. And I believe now, yep, my co-com is back. I just heard a little bit of a mic ruffle. Omi, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, fantastic. Obviously, I was saying we kind of been equalising this race somewhat, but now the gaps are beginning to bunch up again as Brera gets onto the back of Camcade here for P7, and of course Luki with a new fastest lap, just going quicker than Axelot in that previous lap, who did set the fastest lap. Lap 15 of 36. The top 3 are bunching up again, and then we got the battle for P6 also bunching up.
Yep, so we've got plenty of battles right now, all starting to bunch up. Of course, we've got the battle for the lead. You've got the battle for 6th as well. So 2 amazing battles that will surely keep us entertained throughout this one. Funky's been given a 3-second time penalty. He right now is in no man's land, 9 seconds ahead and 13.8 seconds behind.
Yeah, Funky 13.9 seconds ahead of Wace, and of course 9.2 seconds behind Quinn. Bit of no man's land for Funky, and a pretty lonesome race. I mean, what I was saying earlier, that sometimes it might be better to be on your own because you can focus on the keeping it nice and clean on track limits, because you never know if a late safety car comes out how much that'll save you. But all the drivers that have been driving on their own have all picked up 3-second time penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. All trying to push, all trying to get back in the race, but hasn't really worked out for them. And it's still, and we of course still have the, and we're still up, and they're still waiting for a safety car to come out to make its appearance and really help them. But of course the penalties definitely won't be helping them. Luki hanging.
Yep, Luki hanging on for dear life there.
Of the race, and Luki might be having a go. Luki might be having to defend for Redmat soon.
Yeah, Luki starting to make a few mistakes, especially in that final sector. The back end just not sticking with that final corner for the Ferrari, which is not ideal for him. So he's losing him a lot of ground on the one part of the track where Luki has just been absolutely imperious with that top end speed.
Yeah, absolutely has been as well then, as they all make their way down towards their braking zone. The leaders all currently still pushing on, and Luki's starting to lose some time, and Red Mount is going to be applying some pressure, but a few mistakes starting to creak in for Luki.
Yeah, and of course I think Luki, Redmat and Axelot will be wondering when he's going to go to dries, because that'll give him the best opportunity to make some of these overtakes with DRS, of course. And with the ERS management that we've seen so far from Luki and Red Matt, in comparison to Axlock, I think Ferrari and the Haas will be well placed to try and get the jump on the Red Bull. But because of these small mistakes from Luki, it's allowed Axlock to kind of close that gap back up in terms of the ERS usage.
Yep, definitely has as well then, as they still all make their way through. Quinn picking a penalty up as well, and Vera looking to try get past Cam K-Mum right now in the McLaren, who is sitting in P8 trying to get past the Haas, which is directly ahead and might have an opportunity to go into the start finish straight. At the same time, Cam K-Mum on the back of Waitsy, so still this battle continues to go on, but with better traction. Let's see if Vera is going to be able to make the move down towards turn. A bit of a slide through the final corner, and he's now using a bit of ERS, so he might have a chance.
Yep, here comes the overspeed from the McLaren, and the papaya orange car is going to breeze past the Haas and get himself up into P7 in this race and try to get onto the back of the Ferrari up ahead of Waitsy, of course. Waitsy dropped a little bit far behind now of Lawrence, 1.6, 1.5 the gap is between those two. And Lawrence and Ramif have, from being momentarily battling early on in this race, Ramif has absolutely cruised away from Lawrence and is trying his best to close that gap up on Red Matt, Luki and Axlock, and has actually done a pretty decent job so far, I'd say.
Yep, absolutely has done a decent job so far. Indeed, the rain continuing to fall then on lap number 17 out of 36 right now as well. So it will be interesting to see how this race does end, but we are still making back. So both drivers are going to be defending. It'll be Luki defending from Red Matt, and it'll be Waitsy defending from Bera.
Yep, absolutely. As Red Matt now on the ERS into the slipstream of the Ferraris for P2 in this race. The gap between Luki and Axlock has broken out. 2.7 seconds a gap. Red Matt is saying, okay, I've been behind you enough now. I am getting myself up into P2. I have a championship to fight for, and needs to go chasing after his championship rival. Remember, Axlock and Red Matt came into tonight's race equal on points. Whoever finishes ahead between the pair of them takes the championship lead.
Yeah, absolutely as well. So Axlock and Red Matt, then let's see if Red Matt can try and get onto the back, but Luki, who seemed in a good position earlier on, now seems to be dropping down, and he's got to try and maintain with Red Matt. No move happening for Bera to try and get past Waitsy, but he's still following very, very closely to the back, and he's actually going to now look for the move, possibly down to the inside. Nope, he's going to sit behind his rival, but he's definitely applying plenty of pressure. So far, we're not having the best stage of the race right now.
Yeah, Brenner looks to be a bit quicker than Waitsy around this circuit in these conditions. Just looking at potentially what we could see in terms of the pit stop strategy, I think we might see another set of intermediates go on these cars in a few moments' time. Of course, they are going to be approaching 30% on their tyres very soon, but what do you reckon? Would you chuck on a new set of intermediates, or will you try to stretch out to the dries?
Will be interesting to see, but they'll be getting the information on when it possibly could be drying up, so I think they would be in better position to answer that. But it really does depend, in my opinion, on when the weather is coming, when it's going to become dry, and when the rain is going to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. As Brenner now underneath the rear wing of Waitsy. Waitsy has a better car in the straight line. You're seeing him pull away. And Brenner using a bit of ERS to try and close up. Knows that he has the pace to pull away from Waitsy if he gets ahead. Here he goes now to the inside. Using a bit more battery. Bit of contact between the pair of them and the braking. And that has put Brenner up into P6. But a bit of wing damage there for the McLaren now.
Yep, absolutely. A bit of wing damage for the McLaren. Indeed as well. That's not what you want. Trying to make a simple pass and then it all goes wrong like that.
Yeah, I think under braking, Waitsy just getting a bit of a snap under braking, and that's what's caused that incident between Brenner and Waitsy. Of course, in these conditions, very difficult in terms of getting the car stopped in a straight line, as your car does want to step out on you, especially if you're running no ABS, which some of these drivers do run no ABS, but I think a lot of them do run with ABS on, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. As well then, right now, as they all currently make their way through lap number 20 of this race, off the road goes Bera, but continues on as well in the McLaren. Lucy's still trying to stay on the back of Redman, and he's maintaining the gap at 7 seconds as Axelot continues to try and pull away.
Absolutely, as Axlock has got that gap to 3.4 seconds now between himself and Redman. So Axlock just looks absolutely fantastic around here. So the practice has paid off for the championship leader coming tonight. Obviously tied on points with Redman, and 3.5 seconds is not something to sniff at in terms of a gap, as you see Waity and Brenner battling out for P6 once again. Brenner with that wing damage going to be falling massively off the back of Lawrence, even more so, and falling back in the clutches of Camke here. But look at Waity now. They'll look down the inside in towards turn number 4. They wheel to wheel, side by side, McLaren and Ferrari. And it's going to be the McLaren that will hold it for the time being. But Waity looking for a switchback inside line in towards turn number 6. And doesn't want to commit down the inside, even though the wing damage from Brenner is really causing a lot of issues for the McLaren right now.
Yep, absolutely. As well then, causing a few little issues right now as Funky makes his way right now through as well, and he is disconnected from the session, unfortunately, as Funky, and we've got a battle right at the back of the field between Waze and Justin.
Yeah, as Justin, so much more pace from turn number 5 than Waze there, but Waity and Camke battling out there in the final sector as well. So we're going both of this battle for the time being. Camke down the inside in towards turn number 16, and it's going to be Waity is able to hold it on the outside, but a big snap through 17 for Waity, and that's going to allow Camke an opportunity to really put the pressure on. But Camke not wanting to use that battery, wants to allow Waity to burn a bit of his battery. So smart from Camke, but of course Camke right now sitting on 80% battery. I mean, I'd just take the position if I was Camke.
Yep, absolutely, as well as Justin and Waze make contact, and they both luckily just about continue going there after a little bit of contact between the two of them, both battling right now at the back.
Yeah, and for the pair of them, this is the first time they've actually seen a car for a lot of this race so far. Remember, early on they both had incidents which pulled them down towards the back. First time in a long time that either of them has seen a car to even have a bit of a battle, so both of them surely would have got elbows out just for that battle alone.
Yep, definitely would have as well. So let's see them, and still they all continue making their way through. Lukey just dropping outside the 1 second as well of the driver ahead of Red Map, and Cam Kim the second half in the train, still trying to battle with the Waitsy, who's on the back of Bera. So this non-stop battle still continuing on then as the battle for the leaders calmed down, but Red Mat has gained around 5/10 since we last checked in with it. So Cam Kim then, let's see if he's going to be able to try challenge, but the move will be coming further up ahead with Waitsy out of the slipstream and to the inside of Bera.
Yep, big move there from Waitsy to get in between himself and Camke, because Camke right now in a very good position ERS wise, and I think the rain has stopped, so I'm not seeing any more rain falling on the track. So now it's going to be a case of when is the right time to chuck on set the dry compound tyre. When will this track dry out? I believe my co-commentator's Discord has somewhat disconnected again, but technical issues, guys, technical issues, it always does happen. But Justin in the pits right now, putting on a set of the medium compound tyre, so going early onto a set of the dries. This will be a very interesting and very informative from Justin here, and Justin with the pace, he does have enough lap times to potentially catch up to Funky in this race, and I'll try to get that final point playing position inside the top 10, and obviously the fastest lap going the way of Luki right now, trying to put pressure back on Red Mat. Ramif there with a new fastest lap. Ramif has been closing in ever so slightly over the course of this race. Remember that gap between the battle that Ramif was in and the top 3 was around 9 seconds at one point, as Funky's left the session again. So that now gives opportunity for Race and Justin to potentially get onto the back of Funky to try and take that final place inside the top 10. As Lawrence is into the pits and so is Camgate. Fresh set of mediums going on for the pair of them. And this is going to be very intriguing. Is it the time for the intermediates to be taken off, and is it the time for the dry tyres? Well, let's have a look at the gap between the leader, because this will be a big indicator as you see Justin this time versus Axlock, and the gap right now is kind of holding somewhat steady and not really coming down massively as the time is going on, but now we're starting to see the time begin to come down. As yep, there we go. It is time for the dry compound tires. They are slightly quicker than the intermediates, and you're better off getting it early rather than late, as DRS has now been enabled. So there you go, the big indicator right there, and that has actually put Rameth in a pretty decent spot. As a fact, never mind, I thought that the top three had already passed the pit lane, but no, they did not. So into the pits will come everyone right now to get a fresh set of dry compound tyres on. DRS has now been enabled, so that should help with overtaking for some of these drivers down the start finish straight. Axlock will come back out in the race lead, as Redmat will come back out in P2, Lukey in P3. This is going to be an interesting end to the race now. Lap 24 of 36. Axlock leads, had the pace in the wet, but does he have the pace in the dry? 1.6 seconds is the gap, so lost a lot of time in the pit stop phase has Axlock, and potentially we're going to see if he has the pace in the dries to really combat this, as Kamke jumps ahead of both Quinn and Brea in the pits. Brea getting a new front wing change as well, and obviously we're going to have Waitsy, I believe, coming into the pits as well. He's got a lot of wing damage here in that middle sector. As you can see, the understeer absolutely horrible for the Williams, and definitely a huge amount of damage there on that car. Not visually for us, but there's a huge amount of damage there for Waze, so definitely will be into the pits. As you can see there, just unable to get the car turned into the corner, as now Kamke within a second of Waitsy here for P6. Good opportunity for Kamke to get himself up into the top 6 with DRS now enabled. The top 3. Now this is where Lukey and Redmat can be able to work together here, because Lukey will have DRS, and with the overspeed down the start finish straight and in towards turn number 4, this could allow these two to get themselves back within DRS range of Axlock, giving us a battle, a three-way battle for the race win here. And I'm going to ask now, Omi, are you back with us?
Hello.
Beautiful, beautiful, yes, I can hear you fine.
Lovely, lovely stuff. But yes, incredible stuff. Then Lukey, let's see if he's going to be able to try work with Medvat here. You've got, of course, 3 DRS zones around this circuit to use to try get yourselves onto the back of Axlock, and we could be in for a 3-way battle as we will make our way into the final stages of this race to decide who is going to take victory.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the dry conditions, it looks like Redmat just has a better car tailored for the dry. It looks like Axlock had a more wet setup compared to Redmat, because Redmat is almost within DRS range already on Axlock here. So if Redmat can get within DRS range of Axlock now in this final sector, where we've seen Axlock be so strong in this race, it's going to be huge for the Haas, but I think he's just outside it. And with the amount of ERS, and that's not going to help Redmat as well. That has just given full advantage now to Axlock in the championship, as well as Lukey, who's going to be able to use DRS, cruise past the Haas, and big weave there from Redmat. Safety car is out. I'm not sure what has gone on there, and that is Justin in the wall. Justin's in the wall.
So Justin's gone in the wall. Unsure what's happened there to him. But
he stopped still. He does realise he's still in this race technically, doesn't he? And
well, he's been disqualified.
Yeah, he was still in this race. He had an opportunity to get himself going, to get himself back in this race, but a DSQ now Justin is completely out of it. And obviously, in terms of the fastest lap point for outside the top 10, essentially, as long as you see the checker flag, even if you finish last, you're getting that fastest lap point. And a couple of guys coming into the pits for a set of soft compound tyres. Now, this is going to get tasty towards the end here now.
yeah, there's going to be drivers who will be pushing on now on the soft compound tires, so that's going to be really exciting for all of us to watch as well. So yeah, this is going to be an absolute brawl at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Waitsy on a set of soft tyres, Quinn on a set of soft tyres, Brea on a set of soft tyres. We're under safety car conditions right now. Lap 26 of 36. We have 10 more laps remaining in this race. However, will we see any of the top three put on a set of soft tyres? Because they do have a decent gap back to Kamke, which of course will be who they'll be looking to get ahead of. They will drop behind Ramif, of course, but if you're Red Matt, I potentially think about pitting. And yep, there we go. Oh, Red Matt there, indecisive coming into the pits, but Lukey did come in, and Lukey will come out. I want to say Lukey will come out in P4 here ahead of. Actually, we'll come out in P3 because Ramef's also into the pits. I think Red Matt has missed a boat there.
Yep, absolutely. As well then, so going to be really, really interesting to see how this race is going to end. The safety car definitely giving a little bit more spice. We're going to have drivers staying out on the mediums. We're going to have drivers pitting on too. Instead of the soft compound tires. This is really going to be some exciting and thrilling finish to decide here the Mexican Grand Prix. I think we're going to be in for hopefully more action and less contact.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, Red Map, with that 3-second time penalty, he's not put himself in any favourable positions. However, if I was Red Map, I probably would have come into the pits, chucked on a set of socks, because at worst you're going to come out in P4. And that would have been incredibly ideal for Red Map to be on a quicker compound of tyres so we can try and get through on Axlock and build that 3-second gap, because I just don't see Red Map now being able to do it with these guys on the same compound of tyre. Same life as well.
Yep, absolutely. As well then, so going to be now really, really exciting. Of course, the it's now got dry and
Sun's out.
we're going to have DRS open. The sun is out as you mentioned, so it's going to be I think a grandstand finish here. Is it going to be Axel? Will it be Redman and the drivers with penalties like Redman? It's really going to hurt them now. As I mentioned, a late safety car would hurt them, and it has hurt them now.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, this is actually huge for the likes of Lawrence and Brea in this race. Both of them penalty free, down in 9th and 10th place. They'll be able to jump up massively if the order stays incredibly tight towards the end. Obviously, four drivers in front of them do have time penalties to their name. Ramif is one I'm interested in seeing what his pace is like, because in the intermediate conditions he was closing in on the guys at the front, but obviously the gap was created relatively early on as Wace has moved out of his way, as Funky has fallen down the order as he's come into the pits pulling a fresh set of tyres. But yeah, Wace now a full lap down in this race. Definitely not going to be able to get no top 10 finish here, but as long as he just sees a checker flag. In fact, I don't know. I don't like that from Wace.
Yep, absolutely. As well then, and Waze right now just ignoring it and pushing on and trying to hold on to the car without crashing it as well right now. And he's got to drive through.
Yep, drive through and 10 second time penalty for Waze, and definitely going to have some strong words from the student team after as well, because I mean realistically you just don't cut across the track to get yourself onto the lead lap again. You just don't do that.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate how the game works, but you can't really do that, so he's just going to get himself really disqualified, and I wouldn't even, and of course he's just going to be he's going to have to pit anyway. He's going to be disqualified by the game. He's going to have to pit after the safety car, so
yeah, he's got 3 laps to pit, 3 laps to go through into his drive through penalty. But yeah, the thing is as well, it's like, it's one of those situations where me personally, like, to me that's Waste ban would be.
yeah, because of course it's not really what any driver does at all, so it's not really what you should be doing, and it's just not really what you need to be doing. The game doesn't allow it. You shouldn't be just overtaking everyone and cutting corners and doing all sorts of stuff.
Absolutely. So I definitely believe the stewards will be
will be looking into this after the race, that is for sure. Honestly, see, that's also kept the safety car out a little bit longer as well, which allowed Lawrence to come back in and put a fresh set of soft tyres on. See, Funky would also put a set of tyres on as well, so it's allowed them to put fresher soft tyres on compared to the guys on softs ahead of them. And I don't know, keeping the safety car out does affect the race a little bit more at this stage. But Axlock is, as Lawrence picks up a 3-second time penalty under the safety car conditions. Not ideal for him. What I was going to say though, Axlock will be hoping to get this race going pretty soon, I would imagine, because he wants these soft tyres to fall off a cliff. But I don't think there's enough laps now for the soft tyres to really fall off. So I think Lukey right now in the best position to take the race win here. And the safety car is in this lap, and we're going to be getting going on lap 30 of 36. It's going to be Axlock to take us back underway. Red Matt will try to get ahead of his championship rival, try and back him up into the pack, and try to make sure that his 3-second time penalty is minimised massively by any position drops. Lukey there in P3, in my opinion, that's the best chance of taking the race win on those soft tyres. We've got Cam K in P4, just been going about his races. We're back in the way once again. Axlock there getting a good jump on Red Matt immediately, and Lukey on those soft tyres trying to put him to good effect early on, trying to get through. And look at the weave in there, aggressive there to the right and then back to the left from Axlock to try and break the toe down in towards turn number 1. Will Red Matt have a little look down the inside? I don't think so. Neither will Lukey as they go through turns number 1 and 2 right now.
A very separated restart there. The top 3, of course, already starting to pull away and leaving the drivers behind of Cam Kimam, who's going to be under pressure by Ramit, who needs to try and make this move as soon as possible. Then late on the brakes, diving to the inside, maybe nope, decides to sit, decides to doing better off it and sit behind. But no changes on that restart for any of these drivers as they continue on right now. But the changes are about to come then, as Lukey is going to try and make his move soon on Red Matt and Axlock.
Yeah, and of course, looking at the chat, we have received a raid from F7 Racing here tonight. Welcoming everyone from the raid. Hope you are having a fantastic time. We are on lap 30 of 36. Is Axlock, the championship leader, in the lead. Red Matt tied on points with Axlock in the championship in a P2, but has a 3-second time penalty. Then, of course, we have Lukey in P3 on fresh soft tyres. We just had a safety car. Ramif and Cam K there back now for P4. And look at the run that Lukey is getting there on the inside. He's already gone Red Matt. Can he get Axlock now onto lap 31? We go, and Lukey now into the race lead as Axlock now trying to tuck back into the slipstream, trying to get a run down in towards turn number 1. But it looks like Lukey is going to be able to get ahead, stay ahead. And what a final sector there from Lukey, getting the run that he needs to get into the race lead. And now for Lukey, it's about pushing and getting away. Lap 31 of 36. Lukey now the race leader. Axlock in P2, Red Matt now in P3, and Red Matt closing in on Axlock. Will he have a little look to the inside, the outside? No, he's going to stick him behind the Red Bull for the time being. And Axlock now needs to push to keep with Lukey. So of course DRS will be enabled in just a few moments' time.
Incredible stuff by Lukey. He knows that he had to make the move, and he was able to pick up both cars in a couple of meters. Really got some good drive off the corner, and then the long straight at turn number 1. Great stuff by Lukey. Now he's going to try and pull away, and Ramit is now going to be putting the pressure on Axlock and Red Matt.
Yeah, Ramif, of course, in that middle stint and in the intermediate conditions was closing on these guys earlier on, and obviously the gap was made very early in the race from the top 3. Ramif having to kind of negotiate his way through the cars, and of course the battling going on in the midfield left him so far behind. Red Matt there struggling on traction coming out of the final corner. DRS has now been enabled this lap. Of course there won't be no DRS down in towards turn number 1 or turn number 4. Of course the detection point there in the final sector, but in the middle sector down towards turn number 12 we will have DRS for the first time. But Lukey has broken out that 1 second window, and Axlock now is going to be under pressure unless he can get back within 1 second of Lukey, because he has Red Matt and Ramif within DRS range of him.
Yeah, absolutely as well then. Here we are, making our way down towards turn number 4 of the circuit. Can Ramit try and make a move? Berra is going to be trying to get past Quinn. That will be super late on the brakes between the two of them, both on the soft carbon tyres, both battling for the same piece of tarmac and having to use all of the road and a bit more, and Lawrence also managing to get up the inside of Quinn, who was over the road there, and he's dropped down to 8th.
Yep, Quinn there, unable to hold off from Berra and Lawrence there. But look at Ramif now, underneath the rear wing of Red Mat. Both of them having DRS, so they are not going to be separated down in towards turn number 12. But right now, these guys, I think they need to stop fighting and kind of work together here, because Axlock in front of them. Well, Axlock does not have a penalty, and that's Quinn out of this race. Quinn is out, and that's a safety car here. Lap 32 of 36, waiting with a 3-second time penalty. Ladies and gentlemen, now this has just put Brera and Kamke in incredible position, as Red Mat's into the pits, Kamke's into the pits, and Kamke's going to get held up in the pit lane. Waiting with a drive-through penalty as well. Lawrence also into the pits. Fresh softs going on for these guys. Brera into the pits, and Waity will definitely be into the pits as well. Ladies and gentlemen, lap 32 of 36. We have a safety car here. Sorry, lap 33 of 36, safety car. And those guys without time penalties are in a huge spot. There will be no DRS now to the end of the race. DRS will not be online for the rest of this race, so it's all going to be on pure pace right now. Lukey in the race lead, 6-lap-old soft tyres. Axlock in second place, 9-lap-old mediums. 6-lap-old soft tyres for Ramif in P3. Funky up there in P4. What a drive for Funky. He's up in a fantastic position right now, considering he was in no man's land early on in the wet conditions, down in 10th place and disconnecting from the session multiple times. Red Mat there in P5, of course. He's going to be losing out he's going to be losing points versus Axlock here, but definitely needs to minimize that the best that he can. Of course, he does need to get through on Funky and Ramif is possible. But you got Lawrence in P6, Kamke in P7. Good for the Haas in terms of the constructors points and the constructors fight. Brera now in P8. This will be a big points haul for Brera in this race. And then of course we got Waitsy in P9, and then of course Wace, who, I mean, earlier on did some shenanigans on the safety car, which I didn't agree with, but he's going to have an opportunity now to close up to the back of the pack as well, as we come across the line to begin lap 34 of 36. And Redma and Lawrence here trading positions, as Lawrence is into the pits once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that incident, I hope it wasn't what I actually think I saw there as well. Lap number 33 off 36. Safety cars out, late safety car due to that moment, as they all make their way through right now. But I guess the race takes another twist. Driver's going on even fresher soft tyres. So let's see, could Cam Kimar maybe find himself in victory position? Who knows how this one's going to end?
Well, I think it's going to come down to Cam K versus Brenner for that final podium position, but looking at the task, it seems that Brenner might have a small bit of damage to contend with, so it's going to be interesting. But Brenner has generally been a bit quicker than Cam K over the course of the race, but Cam K's just been able to just get his way through the field and just not have any issues with any of the drivers out on track and just drive his own race. And Cam K has found himself up in a fantastic position, able to get ahead of Ramef, Funky and Redmad at the moment on the time penalties as they currently stand. Of course, it was full wet tyres at the start of this race. It went to the intermediates within the first 10 laps, and of course it went dry around lap 22, I believe it started to go dry. And then of course we've been on the dry compounds ever since. We've had two safety cars, both coming in the closing stages of this race, and of course we are going to be waiting to see who's going to come out on top. Right now I think Lukey is in prime position, but Axlock does have an opportunity. I think it's between those two for the race win, and if either of them pick up a time penalty here, it's going to be absolutely disastrous. Lukey now going to get us back underway on the safety car restart. 2 laps remaining in this race. Who's going to be crowned the winner of the Mexican Grand Prix, as we are back racing once again? The green flag we go, and Lukey with a fantastic restart there, getting the jump on Axlock. Look at Ramif now over the back of Axlock. Now this will be heartbreaking for Axlock if he loses out on P2 on track to Ramif here. And we got and Matt on the back of Funky as well. But Red Matt have a look on the inside. Big late break from the Haas. Gets through on the Aston Martin. Fantastic there from Red Matt. Gets through up in the P4. Not wanting to go down without a fight. Remember, he's on the freshest tyre out of everyone in this top 3. But will he have the ability to get through and get that 3-second gap? I don't think he will. But Camke now getting through on Funky as well. Up in the P5 goes the second Haas. And obviously Brennan right now coming in P7. Camke does have a 3-second time penalty to his name now, as Brennan now does not have a penalty. Right now looking at a podium finish for the McLaren, and with his teammate the lead car, those were penalties. Ramif is looking at P4. What a day this will be for McLaren, but look at Ramif, the run for the S's he's got, and he gets under the rear ring of Axel, but not wanting to use the ERS to go for the move. Brennan through now on Funky. Up in the P6 goes the McLaren right there, and dropping out of that DRS range. Not ideal, but of course DRS will not be active for the rest of this race. But it just means that the gap will not be ideal in terms of trying to jump Ramith, Redmat and Camke. But look at Redmat now, really pushing on those fresh soft tyres as he gets the move done. Up in the P3 for Redmat now, as Ramith tries to fight back and be unable to fight back. In fact, no, he might get a little bit of luck. And look at this for the race lead. Axel down the inside on Lukey, they're side by side, wheel to wheel on the final lap of the race. And look at Redmat going to get the run that he needs now. It's going to be free wide running down in towards turn number 4. Redmat on those fresh soft tyres. He's going to be side by side with Lukey. Axel has to stick in behind. Axel cannot find a move there down the inside. Lukey goes deep, trying to cover off, and Redmat now into the race lead. That's a little bit of a love tap on the back there from Axel to Lukey. Axel now into the race, gone from fighting for the race lead down to P3. Redmat is now into the race lead in the closing stages. Too little too late with those time penalties, but if he can build up a big enough gap, he might be able to stay ahead of Brella to complete the podium. And that is going to be crucial. And Ramith with a second 3-second time penalty. We're coming into the stadium second for the final time here. Is Redmat going to take victory out on track? But Lukey will be claiming the race win, obviously with the no penalties. Right now, it has finally been a fantastic race for the Ferrari from start to finish. No instance for him. Redmat takes the race win, but it will go the way of Lukey. Brella does get P3 in the end. The podium goes to the McLaren. Incredible, and it was by a 10th. So Redmat just unable to get in the end a 10th, separated himself from the podium. Axel in P2 takes the championship lead from deadlock with Redmat to having the points haul now over the Haas. My God, ladies and gentlemen, what an end to the Mexican Grand Prix that we have just seen right there. And it is Lukey who is going to be taking the top step of the podium. Brenner is the in-game driver of the day, as voted for by the in-game fans. But my, what a race we just had there, Omi.
We expected action. We got action. That was absolutely fantastic stuff as well there. So what an incredible race. That was it to be thrilling. We got plenty of action there.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say as well that your mic is somewhat disconnecting, so I believe Discord is still having issues for yourself. But it is that man in the Ferrari, Lukey there, taking the race win here in the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, round number 8 of the P2 Championship here in One Hub Racing. It is Lukey with victory in Mexico, and Axlock now taking P2 extends the championship lead there over Redmat, and of course Brenner will complete the podium. But let's run you through the order one more time. It is Lukey with the race win and fastest lap there, taking all the honours there at the top. Axlock in P2 with Brenner in P3. A good drive from P8 and no penalties was what helped Brenner out there. Redmat in P4 with Camke in P5. Lawrence in P6 with Funky in P7. Ramith in P8. Wace in P9. And then of course we got Watesy there at the back. The last of the finishers in P10. Our two non-finishers were of course Quinn in 11th and of course Justin in 12th place. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings an end to what was a very interesting and entertaining race here around Mexico. But now we get down to business on me. Our driver of the day votes. Now I know who I want to give my driver of the day to, but I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm going to go for Cam K Mum.
Okay. What would be your question to Cam K Mum?
I'll let you go first because I still need to think of a question.
Okay, well, my drive of the day is going to Lukey for a fantastic drive and just having the right strategy at the end. And my question for Lukey, obviously an incredibly closely fought race throughout the entirety of Mexico with Red Matt and Axlock. Did you think in the wets that it was all over, considering how quickly the tires fell away from you and you dropped 3 seconds off of Axlock? Or did you always have faith that you could potentially come back late into the race? And that would be my question to Lukey. And what would be yours now to Cam K?
I'm going to ask Cam K Mum, first of all, how did the race go for him? And then also, was he expecting the very, very late safety car that we had after the first late one, the first late safety car that we had, because we had 2, of course, at the end. Was he expecting the last one, and what was he expecting in that? And of course, and also I'm going to ask him about in the remaining races, what would he say? What track would he say he is the strongest at?
It's going to be interesting to see what Cam K is going to say to that, because Cam K in the previous interviews, his answers are very short, precise, and to the point. So I feel we're going to get a Kimi Räikkönen type response from Cam K. But guys, before we end things up here tonight, let's of course thank our sponsors and our partners here at One Hub Racing. Of course, to Next Level Racing, our sponsors, along with Aztec and of course Pure Sim Gear. And let's not forget our partners at Vespertin, and of course to Elite Racing Team ERT, and of course to Sim Grid, who of course provided us with the fantastic standards of which you saw earlier. Now, of course, looking at the calendar, we have done Mexico. Mexico is done. It is now in the bag. Of course, P1 is currently in action right now on the One Hub Racing YouTube channel. So once you guys are done here, make sure you head on over to the YouTube channel. But next week only, we go to Saudi Arabia. Is the Jeddah circuit. Are we expecting a good race, or is it still up in the air for that one?
I think it's going to be chaotic, I think it's going to be wet, I think it's going to be dramatic, and we're going to have plenty of action.
Oh, I hope you are absolutely right. I hope we do get plenty of action around there. Of course, the walls are ever so enclosing around the Saudi Arabian circuit. But ladies and gentlemen, that will bring an end to the action here tonight in One Hub Racing for P2. I have been Michael Edwards, he has been Omi Combs, and we'll catch you next week for round number 9, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Until then, guys, it's good night from the pair of us. Good night.